Welcome to the Daily Reddit Digest, your daily source of the top and trending stories from around the web in a consistent 15 minutes video length. Perfect length audio for your daily drive, workout or just doing chores around the house. Hit subscribe and check out our daily updated playlists. Today's top stories are from r/Amithebutthole, where people post what they have done and you judge if they're in the right or not. Here's the deal. My family has always been poor. I'm talking like food stamps. Mother regularly pawns her wedding ring and then buys it back, taking out payday loans for any minor financial crisis. Poor. For information's sake, my father, the primary income earner of our household, is emotionally abusive and demands to be entertained whenever he is off work at night by going out to eat, often garnering $70 checks, and also smokes a lot of weed and drinks often. If he doesn't get the money/things he wants, he becomes belligerent, breaks things, threatens outlandish things, like quitting his job, actually took his stuff, and moved out for a couple days at one point. It's definitely complicated. My mother and I are very close. Since my father has the personality and emotional tolerance of a toddler, I ended up being her confidant when finances got bad, and knew the importance of covering my own expenses through high school. I often went without things, willingly, because that was what needed to happen. Right now, I'm a freshman in college attending on full financial aid/scholarship. I work some throughout high school and was very dedicated to both saving money because I know things are very stressful financially and working hard to get into a good school so I could advance socially and get out of that situation. As part of my package, I got about $3,000 in cash from my school to go towards books, supplies, cost of living, winter clothes, etc. My plan was to save as much as I can, simply because that's how I am. That said, my mother has access to my checking account. I made it at 16, and at our bank I was required to have an adult on my account, where my scholarship money is. The issue comes into the fact that she has currently transferred about half my scholarship into her bank account in the last 45 days. I went home this weekend, and she said this morning that she would transfer some money back to me. However, I just checked my bank account and she instead took another $200 out. I've loaned my mom money in the past, but she always tells me and pays me back promptly, and it's never been this much money. It's to the point I'm starting to become really uncomfortable and worried that I won't be getting my money back. I'm also a bit confused. Since I'm not living at home, she should logically be spending less money since my family is paying $0 to attend school. That said, I know that my father is only demanding more and more of her, and she's currently having some major health problems. She normally works a full-time and a part-time job, mostly to deal with his bullcrap, but she isn't able to work the part-time at the moment because of her health. My question is, would I be the b-hole if I demanded that she stop taking money, even though it would cause her to endanger her health and likely escalate tensions with my father? A commenter posted, "Not the b-hole. That was infuriating to read. I'm very sorry you are in this situation. While your mother seems like she isn't in the best position, she has absolutely no right to bring you into this. You are a separate adult with a separate financial situation and she took money from you without your permission. I don't feel like I know the best advice to give you. I'll leave that to other editors, but I did definitely want to advise making a new bank account separate from your parents and using that primarily." Next post. I'm 19 and I had my daughter at 14, got pregnant at 13. It was a terrible situation at first, but I made it work. My mother made it clear from the start that she would give me no help at all with the baby, and I accepted that. I did think she was saying that just to scare me, but when I had my kid it turned out to be true, and I raised her on my own the best I could, including working nights at a shop every day, a small clothes shop, where I could take my kid with me at 14 so I could pay for her to go to daycare when I was at school, and I got all the equipment and clothes for free or very cheap from Facebook. The only person who helped me was my brother, who was 23 at the time. I'm now a university student at one of my country's top universities, and I live with my boyfriend of 2 years. After proving that I could do it, my mom became an amazing grandmother and now she does occasionally help me out. My 17-year-old sister has been with her boyfriend since they were 14. They are saving up to move out when they turn 18. They have both just turned 17, though, and my sister just found out she's pregnant. She told me first. She told me she was keeping the baby and she wanted me there when she told mom, for support and to remind mom it's not always the end of your life. So, the time came. She sat mom down and told her. Mom immediately got ticked. She blew up, saying pretty much the same stuff she said to me, and worse. My sister was crying, but she was standing her ground saying that she is keeping the baby, and then my sister said, "You don't scare me, I have a better support network than my name." Mom glared at me and said, "Well, I was hoping you would have a better life than her, but here we are again." I snapped. I told her that I chose to have my baby, raised her on my own, worked my butt off, all out of choice, and if my sister wanted to do the same, at least she would have the support of me and my partner, her BF's family, and our brother too. Mom stormed out. She sent me a text later saying that she doesn't think I ruined my life, but she wanted to make my sister see teenage pregnancy for what it really is, and not just as easy and romanticized as she sees my life. I was horrified. My sister was 12 and very aware of my situation when I got pregnant. She knows it wasn't easy, and I just feel so disrespected. Am I the b-hole? I do get my mom's point, but feel so hurt. A commenter posted, "No b-holes here, but I don't get why you are so offended. Having a kid at 14 is widely considered a dumb idea and generally would only happen by an initial accident. No parent would want that for their teenager." Next post. My younger sister, 30F, has been dating Jerry for 3 years. He's a loudmouth who holds ignorant, bigoted, and homophobic views. I have no clue what my sister sees in him as no one in my family shares his perceptions. Here's what the first Thanksgiving was like with him. He was meeting my family for the first time. He brought up the recent election and called me a snowflake because he knew I didn't vote for Trump. I guess my sister told him, since I didn't know him before this. He went on about how awesome Trump was and how awesome this country is now going to be. I didn't engage because I thought he was foolish. How he had no idea who my parents voted for and still thought it was appropriate to run his mouth non-stop at the dinner table the first time meeting all of us. After more than 2 hours of this, my mother finally asked him to change the subject. Fast forward to now. He has, on more than one occasion, brought up that if his kids ever decide they are, insert vulgar word for gay here that begins with an F, that he'll disown them, and other awful things along the same lines. I'm the only one that pushes back, usually asking him why he'd say that, which usually fires him up even more. There's no having a respectful conversation with him. My sister just jokes and laugh it off every time he says something blatantly racist or ignorant. My parents cringe and try to change the subject. The final straw came when he went on social media and made comments about my relationship. He tried to call out my boyfriend and me because we both have good careers and split household expenses. He thinks this is wrong because you're in a relationship. You shouldn't be nickel and dimming each other like you're just roommates. What's wrong with you two? Doesn't he take care of you? Which is hilarious because he's in his 30s. He moved in with my sister, who pays for everything after 2 weeks of dating, only works part-time by choice, and has no savings whatsoever. I blocked him and called my mother. I vented to her that I don't appreciate any of misogynistic/bigoted/homophobic views and he's a loser. My mom agreed with me, but said she wishes we could all get along. My boyfriend and I live a plane ride away, and I told her I wouldn't be coming to Thanksgiving this year if he was. I said because they, meaning my parents and sister, just sit there while he talks, that makes them complicit to the hateful commentary and I don't want to be associated with someone like him. My mom was understandably upset and said I was her priority since she never gets to see me, but that she couldn't tell my sister not to bring him. My dad is sick about this and wants everyone to shut up and get along. I feel I have reached my limit, but some of my extended family members feel like I should just suck it up, since it would really crush my parents, since I live far away. If I didn't see them on a holiday, would I be the b-hole if I didn't come to Thanksgiving at my parents'? A commenter posted, "Not the b-hole, your C's BF is a true b-hole. I say not the b-hole, because you're weighing your personal comfort/convictions against making your family happy. Personally, I would choose to make my family happy, but I don't think picking your comfort makes you an A. You're just deciding to remove yourself from a situation, which is unpleasant to be in. Sucks for your parents though. Edit. Long term, go visit parents another time and talk to her seas about her dating choices. There are better fish in the sea than this flounder. Next post. My wife and I are expecting our first in May. We've been together 10 plus with 7 of them married, so naturally we've discussed all things baby, family, etc. One of the things that has come up before is the day of our little one's arrival. I've stated in no uncertain terms that I believe the only ones in the delivery room outside of medical professionals should be her and I. My wife, however, has expressed that she'd like her mother to be in the room. We haven't discussed this in some time and definitely not since finding out we are expecting, but I do anticipate the topic coming around again soon. I take issue with my mill being there BC, while she has been very supportive throughout the process. Unsuccessful attempts 4 years followed by several rounds of IVF. I'm of the opinion that this is one of those bonding moments for us and us alone, since we are the ones directly involved in this event. I'm not saying she shouldn't be at the hospital, or even come in to see her before the procedure begins. I'm fine with all of that. But when it comes time for the main event, so to speak, I feel it's time for her to head to the waiting room. I want this time alone with my wife to laugh, to cry, to enjoy our child privately, before they become a spectacle for everyone else. I've learned quickly that pregnancy hormones are a very real thing, so I'm not entirely certain what to expect when this conversation happens again. So I'm wondering Eta, if I stick to my guns on this one, or am I better off taking one for the team, sucking it up, and letting my mill, in my opinion, ruin the moment. Forgot to mention that barring any unforeseen circumstances she'll be having a planned C-section. So unless the kid arrives unexpectedly we won't be doing hours of labor, etc. Next post. My sister lives with my husband, my very nearly 2-year-old me. She's 18, I'm 22, and we've always been close, so she lives with me because I live near where she goes to college. When she's not in school or at work, she's in my living room watching TV. Totally a normal 18-year-old girl thing. The issue and where I could be the jerk is that she watches stuff that I don't approve of in front of my toddler. I didn't know this until I was getting my baby to bed and she told me she was scared of the eating people. I asked her what she was talking about and she said Auntie Panty watched a show with eating people. And after some prying I came to the conclusion that my sister was watching The Walking Dead while she was babysitting my kid that night while my husband and I went birthday shopping for my kid. I asked her if she was, and she said yeah, but didn't see how it was a big deal, because she won't remember it. I told her it doesn't matter if she doesn't remember it when she's older, she thinks about it now and that's the problem. My sister pretty much completely blew me off and said she's not gonna stop watching her shows just because there's a baby. So I changed the Netflix password and all the passwords to our other streaming services. I told her if she wanted to watch stuff, she's more than welcome to purchase her own subscriptions, and she freaked out and told me I was unfair and that she couldn't afford to pay for it all and I was overreacting and heartless for not being understanding. She posted about it on her Twitter and tons of people are saying I'm a bench and overreacting. Am I the b-hole for changing the password with no warning? Am I overreacting? A commenter posted, not the b-hole. If your sister isn't smart enough to realize that you can't watch zombie shows in front of a toddler, she shouldn't be watching TV in the common areas of your home. Thanks for listening. Check out our playlists for the newest daily videos. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the like.